When a patient comes to clinic with 3 pages of labs that they need done, recommended by a naturopathic doctor who can't order those labs themselves, or medication to address anything if it were wrong, and I say none of those are medically necessary or indicated, and the person gets mad at me and says they're going to go back to their other doctor.
So if you go view that video on TikTok, you'll actually see a lot of people in the comments kind of like yelling at this doctor, saying things like, oh, if you only took better care of your patients, then they wouldn't need to go to alternative healthcare providers to get care. And why don't you just order the labs? What's the big deal? I think something that is not clear or very evident to a patient is the kind of like chain of liability that all doctors carry. For example, if a surgeon, right, decides to fill my patient's ADHD medication. Now, that surgeon never fills ADHD medication. They don't treat ADHD. But they're seeing my patient, and my patient is unable to come see me before they run out. Now, let's just say, God forbid, something bad happens to that patient. They get a cardiac arrhythmia and die. Even though I've been prescribing it the whole time, that prescription is now under the chain of liability of the surgeon. It's not that he can't prescribe ADHD medication. It's not that he doesn't understand how it works. It's that is not his scope of practice. That's not his expertise. In the event with naturopathic doctors and alternative healthcare providers, oftentimes they will tell patients that they need to test like their iron levels or their like copper levels or some obscure labs that they themselves cannot order. And they pretty much sell this idea to the patient that, once we figure out these numbers, then you'll be healed. But get your primary care doctor to do these labs. Now, I'm not doubting the efficacy of alternative medicine necessarily. All I'm saying is that Western medicine, allopathic medicine, looks for certain criteria to be met to order certain labs and to investigate certain pathophysiologies. So essentially, you're asking the doctor to order something, attach liability to them, to something they are not convinced that you need. All this does for the doctor is it exposes them to liability, it exposes the patient to unnecessary testing, and quite frankly, it's a waste of resources. That's just my 2 cents on the topic. Let me know your thoughts below.